place that I delighted living in.
Sharon Smith first visited Sahuaro Ranch when she was being courted by the ranch's owner, Richard Sands Smith.
He needed his horses exercised, and so he invited me to come by and ride, which was a great attraction, so I did.
Sharon promises it wasn't just the horses she fell in love with, and eventually Richard, Dick as Sharon calls him, proposed to her.
Dick and I were married in '54.
That was when Sharon began calling Sahuaro Ranch home. But the history of the ranch goes back much farther. City of Glendale employee John Akers works at Sahuaro Ranch, and he knows its history inside and out. He was the one to collect all of the photographs you see here in order to share and preserve the park's history as a part of Glendale's Memory Project.
Sahuaro Ranch was one of the first ranches or farms north of Phoenix, one of the first in the Glendale area. It was in operation from 1886, and people farmed here until about 1980.
Wealthy Illinois businessman William Bartlett started Sahuaro Ranch back in 1886.
In 1886, it was a square mile. It was 640 acres, so it was all the land between 59th and 67th Avenue, Peoria and Olive Avenues.
After Bartlett's death, P.E. Bradshaw took over, planting cotton and grazing sheep and cattle on the ranch. Richard W. Smith, along with his wife Charlotte Sands Smith, bought the ranch in 1927. A lawyer by trade, Richard was also a skilled mason and built some of the buildings at the ranch. The Smiths were also responsible for planting large citrus and pecan orchards, as well as a date grove.
Really, you have the story of agriculture in Glendale here. They did everything from experiment with citrus to growing cotton, cattle. There was a dairy operation here. So really anything that would have happened with farming in the Glendale area happened here at Sahuaro Ranch.
When you view Glendale's Memory Project online at glendaleazhistory.com, you'll immediately notice two components of the Sahuaro Ranch collection. In the first part, many of the photographs were donated by the Smith family.
Everything from people who worked out here, how the use of the buildings had changed over time, the kinds of things that were grown out here. And really, I think it kind of humanized the place.
A portrait of the Smith family matriarch Charlotte hangs in the main house at Sahuaro Ranch. Sharon remembers her mother-in-law as being a very strong-minded person who had many advantages growing up in the early 1900s.
She had traveled a lot as a young woman, which was unusual for that day and age.
The second part of the ranch's online photo collection focuses on the ranch in the later years, when farms gave way to houses and when the city bought the ranch.
In 1977, the city of Glendale bought the last 80 acres of it, which today most of it was used for what we call the active area with the ball fields, a library, the fire station sits on it.
Sahuaro Ranch has the honor of being the only intact ranch in the valley, which means not only is the main house still standing, so are the rest of the buildings, like the foreman's house and the barns. But this place is much more than a look back in time. Sahuaro Ranch is considered the crown jewel of Glendale's park system, offering both a recreational and historical experience. Visitors can picnic, walk the grounds, explore the old ranch, or play a ball game. And the folks who love this place hope this one-of-a-kind photographic collection for Glendale's Memory Project will let the world see what a special place lies in the heart of Glendale. A lot of people connect Sahuaro Ranch with peacocks. And from our Glendale history file, you'll learn that's because peacocks have been at Sahuaro Ranch since 1890. When the Smith family moved to the ranch in 1930, they brought even more peacocks. Many believe they kept the colorful birds around because they eat snakes, among other things. And these days, because Sahuaro Ranch is so close to Glendale's main library, you can often find the peacocks wandering around it, too.